I'm your host, Lo, and this is Mic Drop Sun Drip, the show where we drop truth and speak light into you. This is the show for those ready to awaken to their full power, live from love, bask in golden divine light, embody abundance and divine wealth. Drop into your heart and feel it all in your body. You can watch on YouTube or listen on all podcast platforms. Here we go. Oh, and one more thing. You have a spark of the divine in you. Act accordingly. Hello, hello. Welcome to Mic Drop Sun Drip, the show where we drop truth and speak light into you. I am your host, Lo, and I'm so excited to be here with you again today. Today is going to be all about the heart. We're going to talk about walking through this world with tender-hearted openness, how to really walk through this world with your heart open and how to feel really safe in that, as safe as one can. Our heart is the portal to the divine. It's the portal to our soul, to our true nature, to our true self. And we live these lifetimes and we're taught and sort of learn these habits or patterns that keep our heart closed. And that feels easy for a while until we get to a place of being so numb that we don't feel anything. And the desire to feel, the desire to experience, the desire to dream is the purpose of the human experience for our soul. It is a learning plane, and there are a lot of lessons, and there is also a lot of joy. But the entire reason for us to heal and look at our shadow or all these different things that a lot of us are aware of is to live with a more open heart, despite what we have lived through, despite what we have experienced or endured, despite our challenges. And so much of this time on earth is to learn to live with an open heart and to be okay with the tenderness of your being. We talk a lot about strength. We talk a lot about resilience. We talk a lot about power. But we do not talk enough about our sensitive nature as souls and bodies. Our deeply sensitive nature to energy, to other people, to how we're treated, to how we're spoken to, and to how we are perceived in the world. And so much of this, the energy right now for a lot of us is learning to live and embody both aspects of ourselves, both our power and our heart. Our heart is the source of all of us. And any given day, we're just pulling out different aspects of us that all come from the heart. The heart is the center of our being. The heart is the center of the cosmos. And the divine lives within the heart. I've channeled this many times. And when the divine source comes in and channels through my being, it says to me, I am in your heart. I live within your heart. Look there, only there, to find me, and you will find you. Now, how does this apply to living a better life on earth in the culture? Because we're going to ground this in real quick. If you choose with your free will to live with an open heart, if you choose to accept the tender-hearted nature of your being and that you are sensitive, if you own your emotions, if you feel them, if you express them, you will be free. You will be free. And once you are free, you will create. And once you start creating, you will be satisfied finally with this life and this body your soul is in temporarily. So much of our the hungry ghost inside of us is searching for the next thrill. And we are sourcing these thrills from outside of us. We think they come from other people, other experiences, and the culture, but they don't. The next thrill is within. The next thrill is inside of you. And we are not designed to chase anything. That is not our original design. Our original design is to source from within and from source itself, and to attract everything from that space, from that energy. And if you notice people around you that seem to attract and seem to be receiving all that they desire, notice how they move. Notice if they're in their heart. Notice how they express. Notice the words they use when they're talking to you. Notice more what it feels like to feel someone's heart in their expression, in how they interact with you. And this will help you in turn from that very sacred mirror through somebody else, learn how to very practically start to embody your heart. Most people avoid this work, avoid the heart opening work, because it feels, it is not logical. There is no beginning, middle, and end. There is no end point. It's a vast open landscape, our inner world. And that's why we're culturally socialized to be in the mind, because the mind seems to be able to be understood easier, whereas the heart holds great mystery. But the heart holds great mystery because you hold great mystery. Because great mystery, also divine source God, is a mystery. It's a mystery until we remember. And then all of a sudden, it's not so mysterious anymore. And yes, we may wonder why things are happening the way they're happening, and why that person said this or did that, or why I feel this way. Just now, I had an experience where I'm resisting how I feel. And how I feel has everything to do with deep inside my heart, the vulnerable, tender aspects of me that are coming more to the surface consciously. You know, I keep telling everyone who watches this is very much an expansive growth moment for me to be on video like this, to be showing myself like this, to be seen in this way. It's not easy for me. And I'll tell you why. As I feel tears right now welling up in my eyes. It's because I walk through this world with an extremely open heart, and it has been broken many times. And that is why I have such compassion and empathy for others, because I know what it's like to walk through this world sad, heartbroken. And everyone has it. Whether they choose to admit it or not, they have it. Something or someone outside of you broke your heart. But I will tell you this, as I go deeper on my path and deeper on my healing, it is really me that broke my heart. It was my ability to conform to others or to hide who I really am that just slowly over time killed me inside, until finally my soul was like, time to awaken, time to remember who you are. And now I'm in the season of having to show who I am very publicly. This is what my soul wants. And as you go deeper into your heart, you will feel and start to really see what your soul wants. Apart from your human, apart from the conditioning, apart from the options and scenarios you see outside of you, it is really challenging to be in our mind and think endlessly and expansively and think of the possibilities. You can only feel endless possibilities. You can't think about them. You're going to feel a block. The mind has limits. The heart does not. And so the reason to do this, the reason to choose to go inside your heart, the reason to choose to let yourself feel that tender aspect of you, is so you can start to actually see the endless possibilities before you for how things can go, for how you can receive, for all the things you desire. There's 1,000,001 roads to those desires. And it also, as we live from our heart, like as I would encourage you to touch your heart right now, wherever you are. Even if you're driving, I think you could touch your heart with one hand. But touch your heart, and you'll notice, first of all, how you do immediately usually feel better. Just, so settling in there. And then also, everything becomes quite simple. That's the word, simplicity. What you desire, who you are, it all becomes quite simple. And the complexity that often swarms us and overwhelms us falls away because everything comes back to this. Everything circles back to what is our heart actually telling us? How does our heart actually feel? What does our heart actually want for us? I think it's important for us to acknowledge there is a battle between the heart and the mind. I don't always love to talk about battles and this, but it is. The greatest war we all face is the war with ourselves. That's it. The war with ourselves as we look in the mirror and can we accept our body and our face and how we look and how we talk. The war that we have with our true nature and thinking we have to struggle and being programmed to be addicted to suffering and thinking everything has to be hard. Those are illusions. But as long as we believe them and perpetuate them, usually from the limited constraints of the mind, our life will look like that. And then the belief continues. And so those of us that are choosing to show what it's like to live from the heart are required to display vulnerability because there aren't any examples, very few. And the second, even publicly, people get vulnerable, they shut down. It's like they'll let a little bit and then it's because our vulnerability is like a waterfall. It is not a drip drop. It's a waterfall. And so because the well of emotions that live within us, whether it's from past experiences or just simply how we feel every day as we walk through this world, overwhelms everybody. And so everyone avoids it. But then everyone feels dead inside because they're not accessing the vast well of who they really are. We are all very sensitive, tender-hearted beings in a temporary carbon life form that's trying to have these experiences with these 5 senses or more and move through this planet with other beings that look like us. And we're trying to connect. We're trying to feel. But we're not necessarily feeling because we're trying. And so the second you put your hand on your heart, or the second you even say, I'm going to just drop into my heart, it's simply that. It's just dropping into it. You will feel the tenderness inside of you. And the challenge is to feel it and not go, shut that down. You actually want to breathe through the tenderness, breathe through the vulnerable aspects of you that you have now seen because you tuned into your heart, and let it be with you. Don't shut it out of the house. Don't shut the door on that. That is who you really are. And if in this moment you feel lost and you're not sure who you really are, the answers lie in your heart. The answers are in your heart. Our heart is very clear. It's not really as confusing as everyone thinks. The challenge is, can we believe what our heart tells us and shows us? That is the challenge. There's always going to be distractions or excuses or illusions of the mind that will question or second guess what our heart is saying, always. And those of us that have gotten deeper into this work, that doesn't go away. I used to think that would go away. Oh, that's why I'm doing this work. Oh, that's why I'm doing shadow work. Oh, that's why. No. The inner battle sometimes feels like it gets more potent because as you strengthen your belief in your heart, the mind gets louder. And what is louder is not always right. The loudest is not always the correct voice. The loudest is usually riddled with fear because fear is loud. Love is soft. Love is quiet. Love is calm. Love has no fear. So it doesn't need to be loud and need to be, seeking attention. Love is just always there inside the heart, waiting for us to come back to it. And we will. The second life gets hard, the body starts speaking, health crisis, relationship falls apart, divorce, breakup, friendships leave you. All of a sudden, we have nowhere to turn. We're not looking up anymore. We're not going into our mind. Oh, we have to go right here and go, where have I been putting on a facade because I'm deeply afraid of my inner sensitive nature, because I'm deeply afraid of what it will be like when people see me in my heart, when people see my heart, feel my heart. I often tune in to the 85-year-old version of me. It's the only way I make it through this life and do the crazy shit that I do. It's the only way I take the risks that I do. It's the only way I speak this kind of truth out loud, publicly, on video. Here I am. Is because I think about her at 85 and I think about what she will be happy that I did or didn't do. And mostly what she will be happy that I did was that I did it. Not what I didn't do. She won't be so glad at all the things I didn't do, but she will be happy that I did the things I did and said the things I said. Because dissatisfaction throughout life leads to the deepest heartbreak within oneself, which is regret. Regret of not being who I really am. Putting on a show for the world so everyone around me was comfortable and everyone around me thought they had me figured out when they didn't. And this is why we're going through a time right now where a lot of relationships are getting reoriented, because so much of how we relate to ourselves has to do with the way we relate to the people that we keep close to us and around us. Now, through our relationships is our deepest growth, our deepest expansion, because we can keep ourselves very small when we're just by ourselves, right? And I often think that the relationships in our life are the way we get deeper into our heart, because the potent mirroring of people mirroring our strengths back to us, people mirroring their admiration back to us for our innate gifts, and people mirroring the things about us we don't like, that we have to look at why we don't like those things. So without the people around us, we would not go deeper into our heart. And there are times when you will feel you need to be alone in your own energy. And there are times when you'll feel you need other people more than ever. And both are true. Both and. But I walk around this world and I see people's pain and I can feel what they're not saying. And I can feel what they're not feeling or allowing themselves to feel. Certainly into the depths of it. And I feel their pain. Even when they have a smile on their face, I know they're lying to themselves and to the world. And if I can stop even just one human from doing that, if I can offer a different way, if I can offer safety. Why don't we want to go into our heart? It's because we don't feel safe. Heartbreak leads to the heart is not safe, the mind is safer. When actually, flip that. The mind is not safe. The mind is what makes people do the darkest shit in the world. The darkest acts humanity is capable of comes from the mind, comes from fear. Fear lives in the mind, not the heart. I wouldn't even say fear lives in the body. Fear lives in the mind, and the body responds to the fear that our mind is experiencing. And the body might freak out, and the nervous system freaks out, and the cortisol spikes. But it is not, fear does not live in the body. We are not fear. Fear is an experience of contrast on earth we experience, so we come back and choose from love. But our soul's always testing us. Are you going to choose love, or are you going to give in to fear? Now, that is a day-to-day, moment-to-moment choice. And even the smallest experiences actually build the muscle to choose from love for the bigger choices that our soul presents us in life. But as I walk through this world and as I can feel people that are lying to themselves and lying to those around them, I can feel their heart break because I know what it feels like. I feel this call to free them. But of course, we have to free ourselves, right? But the compassion that we can have for other people comes from our heart space. We will never do anything worthwhile in this life if we aren't choosing and creating and living from our heart. And that is unique to everyone, what that looks like. There's no one way to be in your heart. But notice where you don't even acknowledge your heart. Notice how you go days, weeks, months. You don't even say, oh yeah, I have a heart, or like tune into it or feel, or just notice how literally most people are moving through the world, not even acknowledging the very thing that keeps them alive. You can be brain dead. You can't be heart dead. Notice? Do you notice? Now, I want to talk about how we start to work with both. That's the real mastery, because our mind is connected to the divine intelligence and infinite, endless cosmos. It's connected to the infinite intelligence of the divine. So of course, so much comes through our crown first, down our third eye, into our throat, down into our heart. Often, the connection point between our mind and our heart is what makes us create something, is what makes us execute something into the physical world, bring something into physical reality, or attract into our physical reality very physical material things. It is only from the space of being mind and heart aligned that we attract and create more and more and more. We have a mind for a reason. Of course we do. And our mind offers us a lot of different ways things can happen, ways we can create, ways we can execute. But everything starts inside of the heart, because we're getting so much information all the time, right? We're taking in information. We're having our own thoughts. Some of them are from us. Some of them are not. That has to go through a filtering system. Well, what's the filtering system you're choosing to bring that through? What you think about, what you take in must go through the filtering system of your heart. Your heart is a filter for what is for you, for what is for your mission, for what your soul wants to bring through, for the true nature of who you are. So try to separate everything you take in from taking it on as you and as truth. Look at it from an observer's perspective. Look at it more neutrally. Let it go through the filtering system of your heart, and then see, and then decide what to create. That is mastery. Now, lastly, what I want to highlight here is you will notice as you start to go into your heart, things change around you because you're changing. You're remembering deeper who you really are. Your true nature, your true soul frequency lives inside your heart and powers your whole body. So you may notice your tastes change. People around you start to change. You may not relate to the same things, places, or people anymore. You may not want those things around. You may not want to be in those places, and you may not want to be close to those people anymore. As our true nature starts to show, as the curtain comes up, as the facade falls, everything around us recalibrates to that. Because whatever is in your life right now, ask yourself, if I showed up as the most vulnerable version of me, would this thing stay? Could this thing hold that version of me? Could this person receive that version of me? The version of me that is in my heart, that leads from my heart, that speaks from my heart, that is fully embodied and feeling my emotions moment to moment. Could all these things, people, and places around me hold that version of me? And if the answer is no, or if you're questioning it, you likely have things, people, and places around you that are not for your highest timeline. And all this information that I'm mic dropping is to get you in your highest timeline. There are many timelines on Earth for each body, for each lifetime. What that means is, depending on our choices, because we're given the gift of free will, certain things may or may not happen. So for example, my soul wants me to be a speaker and be publicly seen and recognized. If I don't have this show, if I sit in my apartment and wait for that to happen, it will never happen. And then the 85-year-old version of me is going to be pissed that I didn't do it. And for what? Because I'm worried about being seen and what other people think of me. The mind, not the heart. The heart says, oh, there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone to be in their mastery and in their gifts, and to be creating, and to be wealthy, and to have love, and to be happy, and to be joyful. There's room for everybody. Because think about it, scarcity comes from the innate belief that there is not enough. And so scarcity itself, lack itself, keeps us in a spiral of fear and keeps us out of our heart. When the heart knows, the innate true nature of who we are, our soul knows, it's endless. And the second we leave these bodies, we remember that. The goal is to remember it here, in this physical form. Remember that you are a part of the vast, endless cosmos, and there is 3 million bajillion cotillion options for what you can experience in this life, but it is up to you, because the Creator blessed everybody with free will, including the entire planet. And so the free will is the tension we face, because we can sit and spiral and decide to hate ourselves forever and die very sad, or transition out of this body very sad, or we can decide now to love who we are, to speak who we are, and to embody who we are, and let the chips fall where they may. And that is the choice point I am asking you to look at today, and to meet and to decide, because it is up to you. Thank you for tuning in today. I truly hope you feel more open-hearted and more open to life. Thank you so much for listening to Mic Drop Sundrip. Join the community at houseoflow.co/micdropsundrip. And remember, without truth, there can be no light. And without light, there can be no power.